I thought we played with a good pace. Even when we brought the ball up, we had our bigs and different guards kind of setting higher screens up there to give us some space to kind of initiate the offense. And once we got over the half court, it was about how fast and how quick we were getting in and out of rotations and screens and different things like that. So I thought that was a big part of how we were able to sustain it throughout the game.
Mike, was that the best first half of basketball you've been a part of as a Timberwolf?
Man, I looked up there and we had 70 points or so. Like that's a good night. I'll take that. But happy we were able to come out the way we did. We can't expect to have those halves every game, but happy that we responded the way we did.
Do you feel like there were a couple things that worked tonight that maybe you didn't see in the first two games that you can use going forward?
I thought one was, us winning on the small things, winning on 50-50 balls, winning on boxing out, not letting them get second chance opportunities, just winning the smaller parts of the game. We were able to do because that's what they thrive on. Obviously, the turnover differential, we've lost that in the first two games tonight. I believe we had less turnovers than them. So, those are the type of things that we have to, rely on to have a chance to beat this team. And obviously, getting better looks offensively and knocking down shots helps too, but I think those little things are even more important.
Do you think there'll be a lot of changes from them in Game 4 based on tonight, or isn't that the way the series works?
I expect them to look at a few things, but I don't think they're a team that they're a machine. They've been through it. They know who they are and what they where their bread is buttered and what works for them. So they're probably going to come out and do what they do, and we'll probably see a couple adjustments here and there. But like I said, with them, it's about winning the small things in the game. The loose balls, the 50-50 balls, and turnover differential, stuff like that. And can we do that, in another night? And hopefully we get in the game 4.
Sorry if I'm going to ask this, Mike, but you guys played with obviously like the aggressive defensive pick and roll coverage and stuff like that, and then it also looked like some of the best ball pressure we've seen from you guys in a while. Was that spark it? Was that needed to kind of boost your guys' aggression and get back to that kind of hit first team?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's we talked about it before the game. Like we can't get frustrated, with our effort and trying to back down because we're worried about fouls or anything like that. We got to be even more aggressive, be more assertive, and just play our physical. Let our physicality dictate who we are. They're a physical team. We got to be just as physical if we want to have a chance to win, and we understood that and kind of showed that tonight.
It seems like all the pick fouls in the first two games too. Like we're often them applying a hit, and you guys trying to respond to that. I don't know. Do you feel more likely to get a whistle when you guys are actually the aggressors like you were tonight?
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of what they do. They kind of apply the pressure and once they set the tone for the game, they kind of have control of it. And we tried to set the tone tonight, and I thought we did a really good job of kind of setting that line of scrimmage, in our favor. And we just got to do that consistently.
What did you like more from Ian tonight?
Specifically, I just liked his decisiveness. I think with the way that he was catching the ball and kind of getting a live dribble, like not just pounding the ball, but like catching it, with the pivot foot and being able to kind of go left and right without, wasting much motion. I think that really allows him to get a quick first step. And I think there's not a lot of people that can stay in front of him when he's given, two directions and stuff like that. And I thought Rudy actually did a really good job of getting him off, just releasing him to where he can get some space and get downhill. So. We just need more of that aggression, more of that that killer instinct that he's always had.
How much of a lift did Shannon give you guys to be able to kind of come through?
And TJ was unbelievable. I talked to him yesterday. I told him before I left, I said, man, you better be ready to play because I know you're playing. I haven't even talked to Coach. I just know that he was, that's one weapon we have that can come in and spark us, and just his physicality. He's not afraid of anything. One of our better defenders, one of our more talented young guys, and he showed it tonight.
Mike, is there anything just psychologically in this of the series when you can put it on them this way and after 2 games and not kind of reaching this level?
Honestly, it just shows us more than anything that what we're capable of doing, and so now we've set a standard for ourselves. Like, why aren't we playing this type of effort every night? So if we don't do it the next game, that's on us. It has nothing to do with them.
Like when good things happen to Rudy, does he really improve his play? It seems like if he gets involved in a play or makes something good happen, it sort of steamrolls into a much better game for him?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's just like any player. You know, you get a shot to fall early, or you get a touch early, an easy one. It kind of translates to other parts of your game. I think it translates to his defensive intensity, his rebounding, his ability to catch and make plays on the offensive end. I think he just feels more involved, and we got to make more of a conscious effort to find him on situations where he can be himself.
Like when your best player dominates a quarter like Ant did, does that free everybody else up? Does that add confidence to everybody else? Like not just offensively, but the way he was flying around really in all aspects.
It just sends a message to us all. It makes the game a lot easier when you have a guy like Ant that can go get a bucket, but then do it consecutively, and not just offensively. He was in passing lanes. He was getting steals and easy transition opportunities. He's one of the better two-way players in our league, and he has to be that, for us on a nightly basis, and it just makes us that much more dynamic and comfortable, when he's playing that way.
Sometimes he shows that defensive aspect, and not always. Like, what kind of lift does it give you guys when he is that two-way player?
I mean, it's like it's one of those, like I said earlier, it's like, why don't we do this all the time kind of thing. We would love that. Ant's asked to do a lot, so it's really hard for him to give the energy that he can all the time defensively. But my God, if he can do it, 4, 5, 6 straight possessions, we're a completely different team, and he knows that. And so I think this next couple of games is going to be big for him to try to find ways to impact the game in the same way.
Coach mentioned you need to throw the fastball defensively versus like trying too many things in the first couple of games. How would you just kind of describe the difference, I guess, when it's just man pressure? Like, what was what does the fastball mean, I guess, playing defensively for you guys?
Defensively?
Yeah.
For us playing defense?
Yeah, he's mentioned that you guys try to do too many different kind of things defensively.
Yeah,
now you just might need to just kind of quote unquote throw the fastball.
Throw it straight down the middle. I get it. No, I think what he means is we put in 2 different zones like right before, just trying to find different ways to guard them, and we haven't played those zones before technically all year. So it was brand new to us, and so guys are kind of slow on rotations. We're trying to do it right, but we're more of a man-to-man team and physical team. So it's kind of backing up a little bit and just do what we do better, be more locked in defensively on our man-to-man coverages, and then throw in that zone, here and there.
Mike, you talked a little bit before about how a lot's expected of Ant. Like when you have, they're trying to take the paint away as much as they are this series. You have a guy like Terrence who's able to come in and put so much pressure on the rim. What does that do for you guys, and just to be able to balance that out and have an additional guy that can go at the paint a little bit more? It
relieves a lot of pressure off of us. TJ and Ant, they play one-on-one all the time. They're very similar, body types, archetypes, and just play downhill. And when Ant can go out and you can get a guy like that come in and apply the same amount of pressure, he's a one-man fast break. He gets in the paint. He's going to learn to make plays out of that soon as well. But I don't care, just go score it and get free throws if you can. Like, he's that good. So we just need that balance that he gives us. And I thought that he was very much prepared for tonight.
You talked about changing zones and everything else. Is that like an element of overthinking? And maybe today it was just simplifying who you guys, reminding yourselves who you guys are, not trying to be morph into something different this late in the game?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's interesting because we watched the whole series, obviously, with Denver and OKC, and we were trying to find ways to guard them, how Denver's guarding them. But, we're not the same team as Denver, so, like, sometimes that's not just apples to apples in a sense. So what works for us is us playing hard, man-to-man defense, being in gaps, being in passing lanes, and being physical. So tonight it worked in our favor. We got to continue to get better at some of the adjustments they're going to do. But tonight I was happy with the way that we just kind of reset, hit the reset button and locked in on our way of playing.
And this team's strength performance has always kind of been being big, fast, and strong, right? Do you think this played more into that?
Yeah, this type of night is who we want to be going forward. Nobody on our team is afraid. Nobody backs down. Nobody's, bigger than the team, and that's kind of who we've been defensively. And so we just got to continue that mindset going forward. Understand that we're going to stay confident through it.